Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to all viewers. So today I'm going to make a video on major cases of corruption in Malaysia. The topic of today's content will be first the cases overview of the three cases that we will discuss later. The second is all the involvements, including the individuals and also the assets. And lastly would be the effects of the cases. For this video, I have decided to include three major scandals, which are the first one is Felda scandal, which is the misappropriation of funds that affects farmers and landowners. Second one is Tabung Haji, which is the misuse of funds that is supposed to be savings for Muslim pilgrimage. And lastly is the Port Klang Free Zone, which involves misuse of funds for the development of Port Klang Free Zone. So, for the first one, which is the Felda scandal, this scandal involves multiple individuals in the top management of the Federal Land Development Authority, or as we all know, Felda, and also one of its branches, specifically its investment branch, which is called Felda Investment Corporation (FIC). The former Felda chairman, Isir Samad, is one of the major figures that is involved in this corruption case. He has faced multiple charges that is linked to the purchase of luxury hotels and also apartments at an inflated prices. This issue has been reported to involve kickbacks that has caused major losses for the Felda organization. The snippet from Kini TV just now has shown is that the Felda organization has undergone several investigations relating to the scandal, and this has proven to us that the London and Kuching based hotels and apartments was acquired at manipulated prices that serves to benefit certain individuals. This poses a problem to small farmers that are relying on Felda stability for their livelihood. So, for the next scandal on our hand would be the Tabung Haji scandal. This scandal also involves mismanagement of funds, specifically the savings of Muslims for their pilgrimage. And this scandal involves several high-ranking officials, including the former chairman himself, which is Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim. These funds was instead used for risky investments that led to some severe financial strain due to the losses that incurred.
Dan saya merasakan ini pencapaian terbaik apabila kita telah dapat menyelesaikan isu tabung haji in terms of mengembalikan semula roh dan semangat akta yang ada, yang selama ini lebih kurang 4 tahun mereka melanggar akta tabung haji, dan segala penyelewengan yang berlaku kita telah dedahkan, dan alhamdulillah hari ini tabung haji telah kembali ke landasannya yang asal dan sedang menuju ke arah yang lebih baik. So kalau
The snippet from Malaysian Gazette just now has shown us that the mismanagement of funds has been going on for 4 years before it was eventually exposed. And to be rectified, it has to be held by the government with a quite large sum of funds. This is because all the funds that were supposed to go into bringing our Muslim brothers and sisters to their pilgrimage was instead used for high risk investments in multiple sectors like real estate and construction. So for the last corruption case for this video will be the Port Klang Free Zone. Port Klang Free Zone is supposed to be a logistic and industrial hub that is inspired by Dubai's Jebel Ali Free Zone. The project was supposed to be budgeted at 1.9 billion, but due to unchecked budgeting and also pricing, it has spiraled out of control to eventually be 12 billion ringgit Malaysia. This case involves high-profile figures such as the former Transport Minister Tun Dr. Ling Leong Sik and also Tan Sri Chan Kong Choi.
Former Transport Minister and ex-MCA Deputy President Chan Kong Choi was freed of 3 charges of cheating in the Port Klang Free Zone scandal after the prosecution withdrew the charges today. This follows the prosecution allowing a letter of representation written by Chan's lawyer Tan Hock Chuan. The prosecution, led by DPP Nordin Hassan and Tan, met Judge Zamani Abdul Rahman in chambers to inform the court of the matter. This is the second blow to the case after the controversial ruling freeing Chan's predecessor and former MCA chief Ling Leong Sik of cheating the cabinet over the billion ringgit scandal.
The case primarily centered around assets within the Port Klang Free Zone itself, but due to the inflated land prices and exorbitant construction costs, the project has spiraled from 1.9 billion to over 12 billion ringgit Malaysia, which is nearly 10 times the original amount. This is because the funds for the project were sourced from bonds and also loans that are guaranteed by government. This is why several layers of people involved in this case has increased all the pricings for their own benefits. We will now talk about the effects of all these scandals or corruption cases. For the Felda scandal, it has severely damaged Felda's finances, and also it has caused a decline in public trust, especially for the local community that depends on Felda for agricultural support. This case also raises questions about the governance and also the credibility of public agencies, and this led to a more stricter scrutiny and also calls for regulatory reform. As for the Tabung Haji scandal, this has caused a massive loss of trust or confidence in Tabung Haji themselves because many of the depositors felt betrayed that their life savings for religious purposes were used for risky investments. Tabung Haji underwent a very significant restructuring and also government oversight and government supervision was increased to prevent future misuse of funds. For Port Klang Free Zone, the scandal has a very lasting financial impact on Malaysia's economy, and this has placed a very heavy debt and burden on the government. This scandal has been used to be a major issue in the subsequent election following the scandal. This has fueled further demands for tighter regulations and also accountability within public projects. Now we have reached the conclusion of this video. So among all these 3 cases, the Felda scandal hit small farmers the hardest because the funds that was intended for their support was misused and misappropriated. This has, like I mentioned, has shaken the confidence in one of Malaysia's key land development program. As for Tabung Haji, it has similar impact. It has caused a severe public distrust because people have trusted them to use the saving to go for religious a pilgrimage, but it was instead used for something as petty as risky investments. For the Port Klang Free Zone scandal, it stands as a cautionary tale of unchecked spending. So the next time there are any government linked projects or government associated projects, there will be higher structure or a more orderly fashion for any of the budgeting to be approved. So none of these cases can happen again.